What up, YouTube? I am your host, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, back in here with one more video. All right, guys, listen, we're going to have a little bit of fun today, all right? Hopefully you are ready for a little bit of fun. But one of my favorite topics we got to be able to talk about right now. Now, listen, before we get started, do understand that topics that I'm about to go over with you guys right now and the way that I'm going to go over for you right now is something that is generally linked through my Patreon or my Discord, right? We have discussions regarding what we're about to do. We have deep dives, right? We have these things in order to peel back the onion to understand more about the information that's hitting our eyes. So what if I'm about to go over, you want to see more of, I suggest that you go into my Patreon and become a part of the inner circle. Let's move in though, because this is unique and I wanted to be able to go over it because I wanted to show you how it is possible to become a millionaire prior to 40. All right. Nearing fire. Now this is Reddit. It's a post from Reddit and it's a man that's talking through FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. Essentially, it's a community, it's an ideology where financial independence is focused in on achieving freedom, right? Because we talk about freedom on this channel as a subset of happiness and joy that I talk about in this channel. We talk about freedom as being one of my key tenets of that. And what does that mean? Well, having all the time in the day to do whatever it is that you want to do. That's a major goal of mine, all right? I tell you guys all the time, I don't want to be on this hamster wheel of life throughout the entirety of my life, all right? I want to be able to have FU money. I want to be able to have wealth. I want to be able to do whatever I damn well please, and that's true freedom. The last half of that, the RE, the retire early, yeah, I think I'm always going to be working at something because, you know, I'm purpose-driven like that. Anyway, I wanted to get into this young man's story, all right? He's younger than me. Nearing fire with 2.6 million net worth at age 33. My journey and my thoughts. All right. All right. So TLDR, too long did it read. Here goes my first ever post on Reddit. Just hit $2.6 million net worth at age 33 after discovering I was working towards FIRE without knowing what it was until stumbling across it online last year. Wife doesn't care, but wanted to tell someone. Can you imagine that? I read that at first and I was like, oh, typical. Let's move on. My story, lessons learned, and how FIRE changed my strategy. Now, let's get into his reasons real quick first, because I think that it's important to go through a person's drive of wanting to attain financial independence, retire early. So he said he worked from home from a tech company for 13 years in support delivery. Unlike many people in the sub, he actually liked his job. So when he says sub, he means subreddit. This is Reddit, all right? And would do it forever. But I know I got incredibly lucky and don't know how I've lasted this long already with the BS, corporate performance cycle, quotas, etc. I feel them. You know, I've been working in corporate America over a decade now, and yeah, way over a decade now. And I get it. The performance cycles, the quotas, the talent plans, the everything within and developed by a corporation's HR department that they make you do. And along with that, usually there's some set of the bottom tier of the organization that is always removed, especially in publicly traded companies. My skill set is not transferable. That is a red flag right there. Just FYI, we'll get back into that. So if when they fire me, I'd likely be starting at the ground level at another company making little money and probably not working from home. So I decided that when that day comes, I want to be ready. All right. This is key. I love what he's saying right here. Because listen, I talk about on the channel, if you want to make yourself valuable, right, you want to be able to have transferable skills. What does that mean? That means that the skill set that you're building right now, you want to be able to transfer that into something else at a later date if you do so choose, okay? What's the benefit of that? Well, if you don't, or if you're not building transferable skills that you could use somewhere else, if that place of business lets you go, who else are you valuable to? You're up shit's creek without a paddle at that point. So he says that it's not transferable. And it sounds like he also understands that what he's doing in his environment is transferring his time for money, right? And if the employer lets him go, which they have the opportunity and the obligation to at any time, he's got nowhere else to go. In a way, I see it as being a good steward, so to speak, of the hand and luck I was dealt. And I want to make sure I'm not squandering that by pissing it away on things that don't matter. Curious if anyone else in the same boat with why you're pursuing fire. I'm a bit of a lone wolf with how I live life. When I stumbled across the fire movement online last year, I was excited to find the formal framework for what I have been pursuing for years. I've never heard of the 4% rule, and I didn't think about stocks as a viable option for early retirement. So my focus had been on buy and hold rentals, okay? Which after managing 7 myself, although almost no work when counted in hours, started to become more stressful than I would like. Listen, and this is a fantastic point. There's a lot of people that buy homes, put it in rentals, but you are effectively becoming a property manager. So it can be a lot of hassle, which for me, my thing is like, I want to put myself in a position to own maybe 1 or 2, but I want to put a lion's share of my additional income into something I don't have to manage at all. IRAs, stock portfolios, and all of that, okay? Don't want to be a property manager because it takes time, sometimes to a degree. You can also get a management company to help you in that, but it takes time out your day. This sub, along with blogs like MMM, changed my approach, and for the past year, I've slowly been changing my focus and simplifying my investments. All right, let's go down here. Income started at $48,000 in 2007, now at $160,000 plus the $70K a year in profit from those 7 rentals that he mostly owns in cash. Now look at this. Started at $48,000. Over 10 years or so, gained to $160,000. So he is lucky. I think that increase is not typical. Typically, you're gaining at about 3% per year. This is over 3% a year, okay? Spending, my current savings rate is 87%. Let me stop right there. Huge. 87%. Here's the thing. When he starts out making $48,000 and he's able to save, let's say at that point he was able to save still over 50%, that is the main way that people are building wealth. The typical average middle income, middle class American earner, all right? And this right here is below, all right, the medium income limit for the country. He probably also lives in a low cost of living city. I think he says it later, and I think it's actually Colorado that he lives at. So that's a medium, depending on where. If he's in Denver, that's like a medium cost of living city. But if he's elsewhere in Colorado, it's a low cost of living city. So the $48,000 in a low cost of living city is very doable, right? If he's in like a rural territory. But still though, all right, 87% at this rate is incredible. Is incredible. So he probably lives a somewhat minimalistic lifestyle and has done so for so long, which is how he can be a millionaire a little over 10 years after starting. That's one of the main reasons, all right? This extra $70K in 7 rentals also doesn't hurt either, all right? But he invested early, and that's key. My current savings rate is 87%. I spend only $26,000 a year somehow, but I feel I live a luxurious, I guess he meant life, he didn't include that. I own 2 cars, dirt bikes, ATVs, all Hondas, and spend plenty of time each year vacationing overseas. My #1 expense is travel. And some trips, I figure out a way to get the owner of our side gig, Performing Arts, to pay for as long as we perform or teach while there, while also making the trip partially tax deductible. He's got 2 cars, he's got 2 Hondas, 2 Honda dirt bikes, ATVs. He's living a meaningful yet average purchases, right? And when he does do something above average, like travel, what is he doing? He goes and he gets side gigs, right? He goes and he teaches while he's there. He's doing things. He's making sure that it's tax deductible. He's doing things to keep his cost low while increasing the revenue or the income coming in. This is huge. So let's get into his investments because we had to go over the mindset. I think the mindset is huge because far too much of us don't have this mindset. No, we want to make $50,000 a year and purchase a BMW 3 Series. That's what we want to do. Not me. I don't do that dumb shit. Okay? I don't do that dumb shit. But that's because I have a wealth mindset. Let's get into the investments. $1.35 million paid off real estate. Okay, 7 homes, 1.6 million minus 367 in mortgages. So he has a bit of mortgage left on some of those homes. Includes my personal house, $300,000 house. Average ROI for the renters, for the rentals is 14% with just rents. Okay, 39% of capital appreciation if it is factored in. So what that means is that he's mortgaging something, he's renting it out, he gets about 14% back. That's what that means, right? And 39% if you considered how much the value of that house is increasing, of the houses, the 7 houses increasing, which is a lot, right? But that capital appreciation is gonna go up with the more well-performing houses that you have, okay? So let me take it back because I'm assuming that you know what capital appreciation is. So when you purchase something, when you purchase a home, that's an asset. And, you know, there's an argument of if a home is an asset or a liability. During the housing crisis back in 2008, those things were liabilities for a lot of people. But typically through inflation, through appreciation of a town and where you live at and things that are being built up around it, the asset of your home is typically going to go up in value. Typically, sometimes it stays the same, sometimes it goes down, but more often than not, it typically goes up, especially if there's a lot of development within that. Detroit, Detroit had depreciating. I got a friend that bought a home in Detroit 10 years ago. I think actually a little bit before the housing crisis. I want to say like 2006. The value of the house went down 80%. Okay. Ended up walking away from the home in about 2016 because it went down 80% in value since that time. It's probably up since now. The city's been working on itself a lot, but it can happen. All right. It's still a risk. Still a risk. All right. Let's get back in it. 500,000 taxable. All right. VTI, VXUS. What does this mean? All right. My man is going out on Vanguard. All right. He's going out on Vanguard and getting some index accounts. I think these are VTI is either a mutual fund or an index. It's either one or is it an ETF? I can't remember off the top, but he's putting money in funds. Okay, guys, listen, I got a link down in the description box down below. All right, for you to use Webull, which is a fee-free stock trading application. You can download it right on your phone. Use my link down below. All right. It deposit $100 in there and you get 2 free stocks that can be valued up to $1,600. Okay. Use my link, but you can use that link, that app, which is fee free. You can buy these accounts fee free using that link down below where you could start maturing your wealth. All right. Looks like he uses M1 Finance and he has a screenshot of it. And their automation is awesome, by the way. What he means by automation is that I have my account set to every time that I make money on my different stocks, those dividends that would typically come back to me. And a dividend is a percentage of that stock that the company will pay to you for owning that stock. Okay. I have mine set to be automated to just reinvest back into that particular stock. Right, so I have AT&T. AT&T gives dividends. I have it automatically set that AT&T, that dividend goes directly back into the stock, and I don't even see it. All right, I don't even see it. All right, 220,000 taxable in my company's stock. Okay, and just real quick, what does taxable mean? This means that when you take it out, Uncle Sam needs its cut. That's what this means. All right. So in his company stock, he's got some money in it. Looks like $220,000. So if he was to take that out, Uncle Sam needs the paper. Okay. Yes, I want to move this to VTI, but 130,000 in gains. So don't know how to, without a huge tax bill. Any ideas? It's got a 401k as well, $345,000 maxed out. This is taxable as well. Okay. Yeah, so he's probably has this maxed out for, if not maxed out, close to maxed out for the years prior to him making $160,000 a year. Because this is a considerable amount for the amount of time that he has left it in there thus far. All right, others. HSA, $96,000 maxed out. And he has a joint SoFi account with wife, Prosper.com, $24,000 in cash. Honestly, I don't know what Prosper.com is. I'm going to have to look them up after. HSA, I have an HSA as well. I have it maxed out as well. What an HSA stands for health savings, health spending account. So you put, and the beauty about an HSA account is that you can put money in tax-free. It can grow tax-free. And then you can take it out tax-free, okay? Once you reach a certain age. Up to that certain age, you are required to use it for medical expenses. But after like 60 years old or something like that, you can just take it out. I forget the exact age, so don't quote me on that, but I believe it was like 62 or something like that, okay? Let's move on. Taxes, $16,000 per year. Real estate helps a lot there. Married, I'm married. But we keep our finances separate. Oh, really? Do you? Cool. So all these numbers are my own. We both contribute an equal amount into a joint small checking for things like groceries and utilities. She makes $30,000 a year doing what she loves, quotes, but doesn't seem to care about money. We have a prenup. It was her idea. Nice. Nice. Okay. Okay, doesn't seem to care about money, making $30,000 a year, but yet doesn't care that he's a millionaire and has a prenup, okay? Whoa. She found out I was a millionaire in a lawyer's office as we signed the prenup. Interesting. Disclosing my net worth was required. I feel bad I make so much more and keep it separate, but I tell myself, number one, I live on the same amount as her, so we have the same standard of living. And number two, assuming we stay together, hopefully I could support her quitting her job one day so we could travel together or do whatever we want. I've shared with her my net worth when I crossed $2 million, but she didn't seem to care much. I know she was listening though, because every now and then I get a sassy comment like, so you're a multimillionaire, but X is too much for guacamole? Sorry, I had to say that in my best naggy married wife voice that I possibly can. I'm so sorry. I know a ton of you just clicked off the video. All right. Hopefully you came back though. All right. A lot to learn here. I like this guy, right? I like this guy. I'd like to take him out for a beer, poke more into his mindset. I love what he did from a marriage perspective. If he chose to get married to her, that's what he chose, right? Like, it seems like she didn't get in there for his paper. That's good as well. Looks like she got in there for him. She seems like she's a lot more of a free spirit, okay? A lot more of a free spirit than what he is, but he seems very intentional. And he does what he can with what he actually has. This is an example. Listen, I'm not going to go into the rest of this because he has a whole bunch of other stuff that's down in there, all right? This video is already far too long, all right? He talks about his family and all this other stuff. I'll leave a link down in the description box down below so you guys can see the entire article. But this guy has made very strategic decisions. Didn't even know the path that he was on until he got more information about it. But he's been making very strategic decisions for a long period of time, down to this marriage thing, the prenup, right, and then a plan that he has for the money after that. You understand what I'm saying? But I wanted to go over that, all right? Because this idea of, like, yes, he has a high income right now, all right? But he wasn't living like he had a high income when he did not have a high income. And that's very important to know and understand. You understand what I'm saying? But that is your video for today. Guys, let me know if you enjoy videos like this. Let me know how you feel about it. All right. Let me know if you want me to continue walking down stories like this so I can try to inform you some of the mindsets of those that are millionaires. Because at the end of the day, if you're consuming yourself with broke mindsets and not wealthy mindsets, you are increasing your likelihood of remaining absolutely broke. All right, guys, let me know. And if you are interested, click on the Patreon link down below and then come up, join, support, because we got to have these conversations. All right, we got to be able to talk about this. We got to infuse this information over here on this side of YouTube, because on this side of YouTube, right, we focus so much on what women are doing and like all of these nuanced topics that really at the end of the day don't really mean as much. All right. But when we talk about increasing and creating value for yourself, him right here, the way that he's living life, the way that he'll never have to think about walking into a grocery store and should I get this because of how much it costs? You understand what I'm saying? He'll never have to think about that ever again. And in fact, his thought is going to be, listen, when I go to Santorini, is it going to be 5-star or 4-star? That's where his mindset is going to be at if he has the opportunity to be able to do those things with his time. Okay. Links down in the description box down below. I also left the Weeble link down in there for you guys as well. Use my link. All right. Until next time, YouTube.